Hello everyone, my name is John Glenn, I'm known as Beardychiel, and welcome to Beardychiel's Knitting Banter Episode 5, Perth Festival of Yarn 2016. It has been a couple of weeks since the last podcast and I am ready to move on with another one. So here we go. Welcome to those of you who are returning viewers. It's a pleasure to have you back. For anyone who's joining us for the first time, welcome aboard this mad journey through some of my thoughts on knitting and one or two other things from time to time. As I say, my name is John Glenn, known as Beardychiel, and you can find me on social media in lots of places. You'll find me on Instagram, Ravelry and Twitter as Beardychiel. You will find me on email as beardychiel@gmail.com, and there is a Beardychiel page on Facebook which I have just about started, and we will hopefully have some posts start to appear there soon, and when that's ready, it's also when you're searching for that, it will show as a page for Beardychiel, and it may also show under John Glenn. I can't remember how I set it up, but we'll have a look anyway. There are two separate. There's a Beardychiel for knitting matters, and there's a straight John Glenn which I use for my personal odds and ends. I'll try not to get the two mixed up, or I'll edit one of them so that it's not accessible to anyone other than family. Other than that, we'll have fun. Now, normally I start my podcast with a short summary of what's going into each one. And there are sections which have appeared successfully in the previous podcasts. But today, because of the special nature of the podcast and the content, we're having a complete change of structure. So for those of you who were expecting the normal, this is my local area, this is me, this is the knitting, the whips, the completed objects, whatever, some of it's going to change, but it's all for a really good reason. I hope you thoroughly enjoy watching it as much as I did putting it all together. So what have we got? I've stuck in a quick health update, some whips, some completed objects, and then this weekend. What has gone on this last weekend? Well, I have to tell you, some of it is repeatable. One or two items may not be repeatable, but we won't go there. At the end of that section, I said maybe 3 podcasts ago that I was interested in having local Caithness Crafters involved in my podcast somehow, and the first of those has come in to the conservatory, done an interview with me, and we will put Kirsty's section in towards the end of the podcast. I were just sitting having a chat and looking at how and why she crafts and what she crafts. And I have to say, it was absolutely wonderful fun to film, and Kirsty was a dream to work with. So I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I did making it. After that, the yarn giveaway that I mentioned at the end of the last podcast. I couldn't decide the best way to do this, and I've had a nice long think about it, and I have come up with an appropriate challenge for the giveaway. Based on my background, the things I enjoy doing, I do have a little challenge for those of you out there in podcast land. I hope you don't shy away from it. I hope some of you are willing to get involved and have a try, because for one lucky devil there's going to be something nice at the end. I think it's nice. In fact, I think it's so nice that I've gone out and arranged the same surprise for me to use at home myself. So if I wasn't thinking it was worth doing for myself, I wouldn't be offering it to somebody else. A quick summary, a little bit of the podcast watching I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. There have been a few, and they have been great fun to watch. So we'll mention some of them. Some folk might get big-headed because they've been mentioned before, but they can't help it if they're a good podcaster. So here we go. Health update. Those of you who have been following and know about my nasty interaction between lungs and blood clots, my recovery continues to plod on slowly and steadily. I'm following doctor's orders. I'm not doing anything that leaves me feeling stressed or breathless, and that's fine. I don't object to that. I'm getting used to the fact that there's an awful lot of things I would take for granted which I cannot do. And as the weeks go on, it's becoming evident to me that this is not going to be a 2 or 3 week recovery. That's probably why the consultant said, you'll be having treatment for at least a year. I can understand now that he means quite literally it could be a long, slow process. And if in that long, slow process all I can do is sit, do the occasional podcast, knit in between times, and have my wife drive me to interesting locations, so be it. I shall have to suffer for my health. And those of you out there in podcast land are going to have to suffer my rambling. But hey, that's okay. I think I can learn to live with it. So no more pregnant pauses if I can avoid them. Let's try and make today productive. So that's it. I have nothing to complain about. I have nothing to rejoice about. I have had 1 or 2 experiments. I decided to try some stairs last week. First attempt was successful. I shouldn't have attempted the same flight of 15 stairs twice in the same hour and a half, because that was too much. But there's my phone chipping away like a cricket, so somebody's looking to pass on information. Well, they can get stuff till the end of the podcast. Excuse me, I'll just turn off the volume. Right, here we go. We'll edit that bit out later. Where are we? Yeah, health update's finished. Nice and simple, so let's get straight into the knitting. Whips, works in progress. Well, what's on the needles at the moment? There are a few items, 1 or 2 you have seen. You know that the large gents shawl, scarf, scarf, whatever we're going to call it, is ongoing. It's had a pile of rows added to it. I'm not going to show you it again because you saw it a fortnight ago. I'm going to save that until it's completely finished. In the meantime, like most knitters, I have that on the go, and I have other things on the go. A little while ago, I started work on a little double knitting headband project for daughter Sarah, and it's doubled in length since the last time you saw it, and I need to finish it off for her because her ears are cold and the nippy weather's starting to hit in Caithness, so I'll try and get that finished in the next day or so. I started some nice sort of vanilla socks on the journey to Brora just before the last podcast, and they went into my knitting bag and they get nothing done on them. I forgot they were in my knitting bag until I was on my way to Perth, so I did another inch or so on the way to Perth as the travelling permitted, and I was quite happy with that. Last time I was on, I was talking about finishing a little pink and white matinee jacket which my daughter had asked for a friend. So at the end of the jacket I said there would be a hat added. The hat is finished and will come up in completed objects for you to have a look at. Charlotte at Charlotte Knits has been exploring vegan yarns, and I said I would be supportive and do some exploration of some vegan yarns and projects. So I hunted around. In my stash I had a supply of Rico Italian cotton. So 2 cotton yarns, 1 brightly coloured and 1 plain. Absolutely lovely, 100% cotton, really nice finish. Putting them together, I thought those are going to make a really nice scarf, but what would combine them nicely? Well, I was wanting to experiment with some brioche, so here we go. The start of 1 cabled brioche scarf. 15 rows between cables. It's quite good fun so far. That first big double, I got my tension wrong. It's showing a bit of a hole, but this is an experimental project, so I don't really mind that. The other cables at the sides are fine. The blue side is looking like that at the moment, which I think looks quite smart as well. I'm happy with it. So Charlotte, as this progresses, we will keep in touch and I'll let you know how my experiment with cotton continues and how I'm feeling. I have to say, as a knitted fabric, it feels quite nice at the moment. I'm intrigued to see what it's like when it's finished. And you'll see that it's not on a DPN. It's on a normal straight needle. Nathan Taylor Sockmaticians single pass double two colour brioche technique, working beautifully again. I used it for an experiment a little while ago and I have gone back to using it because the technique works and works really, really well. So I'm going to finish that off and I'm looking forward to seeing that when it's about 1.5 meters, 2 meters long. It should be really good fun. Now, the other thing that we have on the needles is this. This is a shawl prototype. And again, looking at guys, and it's an asymmetric start of an asymmetric short row shawl. You can see this end's nice and tight and it gets wider on the other. And you can see that there are some stocking stitch stripes running this way and there's some garter stitch running vertically this way. And these are starting to fold up. When I finish blocking it, these will start to look like petrol blue pleats against a two-tone grey background. It's being knitted in drops alpaca. It's lovely, it's soft, it's cosy, it's warm. We're only partway through the first 3 balls at the moment. It's fun to knit. It's a really, really simple short row pattern. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The 3 colours that I've chosen to put into it are a mid-grey, a pale grey and the petrol blue. So when you put the 3 of them together, I'm hoping you're going to see that they're actually quite nice together. And because again it's not lacy, it's simple flat panels of colour with that little stripe in it, it's not going to be too feminine, quite a masculine set of colours. And I'm hoping it's going to produce a really nice wearable winter scarf. So as that develops, keep your eyes on this spot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and that very short spiel is the little bits of works in progress that's running at the moment. Not a massive amount. Now, completed objects. The first one I mentioned was of course the hat to go with the matinee jacket from last time. So we have a little shell pattern border on the bottom, a nice little sparkly white top, and of course you can't have a hat for a newborn without a decent pom-pom. Now I have to say, the young lady that this is destined for entered the world just 2 days ago and is due back from the hospital to her home in the next 48 hours. So this is going to make its journey from here to its new home in the near future, and I wish her great health to wear it. I was working on fingerless mitts. The fingerless mitts are finished. Photograph will appear here or here. And they were really, really cosy. Had them on 2 or 3 different models who all said they enjoyed wearing them. They all liked the length, they liked how tight the cuff was, they liked the extension of the arm. That was fine. The pattern is written, just need to finish typing it up and it will eventually appear somewhere. So I'll need to stop writing, settle down and sit and type at some point. Finding time to concentrate is difficult, but we will try and get that done. But they're not here. So I can only show you them in photographs because while I was away at the weekend, they were in my knitting bag and someone had really, really cold hands and had to be doing a demonstration and their hands were freezing. And I said, well, I've got a pair of fingerless mitts in my bag if you'd like to borrow them. So she borrowed them and she wore them and warmed up her hands and got her demonstration going. And at the end of the afternoon, she came and said to me, "Do you really want these back, or could I just make you an offer and buy them from you?" So I'm afraid they've gone off to a new home. It's not often that a prototype gets offered a new home in such an unusual way, but when you see the photographs and you see the weekend's activity, it'll all make a lot more sense. So they have gone. What other finished objects have vanished? Well, the matinee jackets have gone off. The blue cabled one from the last episode arrived safely in Glasgow. I had a lovely message from the granddad-to-be, Angus, who said his daughter opened it and was absolutely delighted with the package. The matinee jacket, the hat, and the other little surprises that were sneaked in, so I'm really, really pleased about that. What else have I finished? Have I finished anything else? No, that's it for this time through. And I'm glad that that's it for this time through, because there's so much else to do today. This weekend has been quite an amazing weekend. I have done very little. I have basically sat back and been chauffeured from Caithness to Perth. I have had to take a couple of very, very slow wander, sit and have a seat, wander 50 metres, sit and have a rest, wander 50 metres, stand and chat to somebody, experiences. And in that time, my wife and I managed to go from Caithness to Inverness to Eden Court Theatre, where the Loch Ness Yarn Fest was running. And we popped in there, and there's a couple of short clips of video which I'll insert, and a couple of stills, and we had a wander round the festival there.
What is this for? Start with the Terry Pratchett? Yeah, I'm going to start with the Terry Pratchett now. Because I'm going to be having an absolutely wonderful time. And I'm not really worrying about background noise at the moment, because I'll take all of that out.
Was it good? Was it really good?
Wonderful.
Sorry. Being a useless saleswoman this afternoon. It's been quiet actually.
Oh, okay.
It's been in
Let's talk to the lady in the bar.
Oh really?
Was that the one with the yarn with silk? I know. I mean,
Met a couple of friends who were in Eden Court for other purposes, and had a chat, had a cup of tea, looked at a pile of yarn, was delighted to see two brand new yarn producers in Scotland, one US Yarns, and I'll pop a copy of their business card in here to let you see it, and the other one, Black Isle Yarns. Now the Black Isle is just north of Inverness, south of Tain, and it's an area sometimes best known for the Black Isle Brewery in this part of the world. But I was speaking to the owner of Black Isle Yarns, and she has taken to having her own sheep and having them shorn, and then having the fleeces spun into yarn for her to sell. And her range of yarn was really, really nice. I have to say, I didn't buy any on Saturday. She was in an upstairs venue, and after I'd gone round upstairs, had something to eat and went in and wandered around the little marketplace area downstairs, I didn't have the energy to get back up, to go in the lift and walk across the upstairs section again, so I didn't get back to her. But I did bring away a business card and a pile of other information, so I will contact her by email at some point in the future, because I think I'm going to have to test some of her yarn. It was really, really nice. She had one or two test garments knitted up, and they felt really nice. Nice density of fabric, really nice natural sheep colourings as well in the yarn. No in your face loud acid dye type colours, so a very natural finished effect, and I think that should bode quite well. So 2 new producers was wonderful news for me. I did take the opportunity to visit 1 or 2 stalls whose names I had seen in the past and who I desperately wanted to get in and see. And yes, there was a little bit of stash enhancement there. This and this came from the Dye Ninja. What can I say? Sheila, Dye Ninja, absolutely super yarn. This one is what she calls heavy silky lace, which is 55% BFL, 45% silk. It's a lace weight, roughly 100 grams at about 655 yards, and a colour called Spellbound, which is a mass of golds and just tones of gold with slight acid yellow and the vaguest hint of a green in the background. Really, really pleasant. Absolutely gorgeous yarn. And she had this. Now this appealed to me. This is called Sam Vimes. Now, some of you may be sitting in your seat saying, I know that name. There is a range of dyed up yarn that Dye Ninja offers, and when she sells it, because it's all Discworld inspired, for every skein she sells, £2 goes to Alzheimer's research. And when I read that, I couldn't resist treating myself to a skein of yarn and having a little donation go to charity. So this is 100% fine merino, fingering or 4-ply weight, 100 grams, coming in at about 400 yards, and I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's just so squishy. Lovely tones of greys, a sort of steely grey, a soft light grey, a slightly darker charcoal, all blended beautifully together. So that was that one. I was delighted with that. As I wandered along, I came across Ripples Crafts, and Ripples Crafts is from further along the north coast of Scotland from myself, in Sutherland, and there were 2 skeins of yarn that I fell for. This one, just the range of purples and pinks in this 4-ply was absolutely wonderful. It's 100% wool, it's merino. What can I say? It's just really nice. It's a really, really tight spin. I have a feeling that the stitch definition with this is going to be really, really nice. Will it go on its own? Will it be added to something else? I don't know. It would make a lovely pair of socks, but by the same token, it would potentially be a really nice fine scarf for the winter, or a nice piece of a cowl, or too many choices. And she also had some lovely minis. So I found this lovely blue mini, which I really enjoyed the colour as I was looking at it, and I don't have any plan for it at all. I just loved the over-dyed way it looked, so I bought it, which is a bit crazy, but hey, we'll wait and see. It may turn into something yet, or it may transfer itself to another home. I don't know what's going to happen with it, I haven't decided. So that was that one. We made our way back to the car and we made the trip to Edinburgh. There's some footage from bits of the journey. There's some stills of the setting up of the Perth Yarn Festival, which took place yesterday. And there's some footage talking to some of the Scottish podcasters who I managed to nab as they were wandering around. I think I only got 3 of the 6 of us who were there. Well, you don't need to hear from me because you're hearing from me now. But I did manage to get an interview with Eva Christie, who had organised the event, David Rakes, this boy, and Layla Spencer. So Layla, David and Eva, your sections are coming up. I got a chance to wander around and talk to some of the vendors. Now, trying to scrounge short video interviews with vendors when you've got a yarn festival which had a lot, hundreds of attendees who thoroughly enjoyed themselves, and trying to get a vendor without interrupting their trade during the course of the day was a challenge. I would wander up, sitting at the side knitting, watching for a vendor to suddenly have no one at their table, camera in hand, cross the room, get to their table, instant trade. Customers just arrived. Wandered back to my table, sat down, kept knitting, kept watching. Another vendor free. Take the camera, head for their table, bang, another set of customers in front of me, and there's no way I was going to interrupt the trade. So some of the vendors, I apologise if you did get a chance to have a video input for this podcast. I will try and prioritise you next time. The folk who did manage to get a chance to chat to me, thank you very much for giving me your time, and I'll just pop those sections in. I did get a lot of stills of just about every stall, so there will be a montage of still images of the stalls for the Yarn Festival tagged on the end of the video sections, and I'll hunt for an appropriate piece of performing rights free music that we can tag on to the end, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you all very much for watching so far. I will see you at the end of the Perth Festival of Yarn montage.
Yeah, you're fine. Just flash me to come back.
Right, Mrs. The day's progressing, and how's Eva so far?
Eva's still alive and breathing, which is a really positive thing. It's been a bigger success than I could have dreamed of.
That's
really.
wonderful.
I still need to take a moment and just go and soak it all up, and I need to spend as well, because I've not had the opportunity to go and look at what anyone's doing yet. But probably the best part of it is having Charlotte. Charlotte is here, folks.
Hi, Charlotte.
With her vegan yarns.
Yes.
Holding on I mean, having yourself here, Mr. Beardychiel, we've got Layla's here, we've got David Rakes, this boy, we've got Charlotte, we've got Kirsty.
We've got Layla.
We've got Layla, we've near enough got the full Scottish contingent. I'm so sorry you couldn't make it, Helen.
Yeah.
It's been mental. It's been mental.
Wonderful.
It's amazing. And I'm still, what time are we now?
We're only just about 12:30, 12
No,
o'clock.
12 o'clock. So we've been open for almost an hour, and I'm still trying to set up my stall. Which shows you how busy it's been, but it's great. Yeah. It's really positive, and everyone's having fun. Look, there's Kirsty. Kirsty's filming as well.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
The cross-filming podcasters.
Yeah. It's been amazing. Sorry, I'm going to have to scoot off camera now.
Yes, it's all right.
Oh, sorry.
That's enough, feel free.
You're fine.
Don't worry, you'll just...
That one. One of my favourites. It's so pretty. It's lovely.
It's absolutely wonderful. You come to a yarn festival to buy things and you end up
Giving them on.
with fingerless mitts going at somebody. Do you like sparkle?
They're really cool, yeah.
So we're back still in Perth Festival of Yarn, and I've met Layla Spencer. Hi Layla. What have you been up to today?
I drove up from bottom half 5. I brought a friend with us, with me, Michelle. What have I bought today? Lots and lots of goodies. I'm going to do a podcast this week. Yes, I know it's been a while, but I'm going to do one. What else did I buy? I bought a few things from David. I've met up with John and his lovely wife. Met up with Eva. We're just having a coffee just now. And it's been a great day.
What do you think of the number of people who have turned out for today's event?
Shocked. I'm actually really quite shocked. It's busy. It's really, really busy. Lots of brilliant dyers are here. Everybody's really friendly. Definitely come to the next one.
Yeah, it's been amazing fun. I think the community spirit is one of the best bits today.
It's been
folk
really
just
good.
sitting down with their knitting round a table with coffee in between shopping bouts.
Yeah, and everybody's really chatty. Everybody's really, really friendly. It's lovely.
And have you gone over budget?
Trevor, if you're watching this, no, I've been really, really good, but yeah, I've gone over budget.
Yeah, and so have we, so I can't say anything else. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, Layla. Bye.
Bye.
Right, here we are. We're back at this boy counter. Hi, David.
Hello.
How's your day been?
It's been amazing. It's blown my mind just how many people have come along, how just the questions they've asked and how engaging they are. You've just done a fantastic job.
I think it's been wonderful. The community atmosphere today has really blown me away.
It's just shone.
Yeah. Now, apart from sitting here, and I know how full this table was when we arrived, so you've gone home with a heavy wallet.
I am.
To pay all the bills for the yarn that you've dyed.
Yes.
But what did you spend?
I've only bought one set of needles yet. I've not had a chance to go around properly.
Which ones did you buy?
I bought the hand-turned ones after speaking to yourself.
Oh God, so you're as bad as me?
Yes.
What size?
4mm.
All right. Yeah, I'm afraid I went for the 5s.
Okay.
Because I was claiming that they were for Janet because she wanted to do some chunky knitting.
Right.
She doesn't believe me.
No. The proof will be in the knitting.
Mm-hmm. So what has been the fastest seller for you today?
The tealing has been popular, but the silk sold out.
Oh wow!
There's only 3 skeins of silk left after about 15 of them.
That is wonderful. So was it worth all the stress of preparing for today?
It was.
It's been wonderful. So how long are you going to need to recover before you fit in the next podcast?
A couple of days. I'll be fine to record once I'm home and sitting down.
Well, Layla said the same. She's hoping to do one on Wednesday, so I'm going to have to get this done and up before Wednesday.
Yes. No, hopefully before Wednesday I'll have one up anyway.
Oh well, wonderful.
Just a wee one.
A safe journey home, and it's been nice to catch up finally.
Lovely to catch up with you.
Thanks. See you soon, David. Okay, we're working our way around the festival. We've reached my mama Nits. Hi.
Hello.
How's your day been?
It's been fantastic. A lot of friendly people. Good stuff to see. I'll do some shopping later.
Now that's a good sign. Now, have you been tempted to get out from behind the stall and do some shopping?
Yes, I have.
Successfully?
No, not quite yet. There's not been time, but I definitely will be going around.
Wonderful. So what's been the fastest seller for you today?
I think I've sold a lot of patterns and a lot of the BFL, almost, and all my sparkle socks gone.
Wow. So you're happy about that?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Wonderful. For a first attempt, has it gone better or worse than you might have anticipated?
It's been fantastic. It's actually my very first booth ever, so it's been a really good experience.
That's wonderful. The sort of range of colours and the stuff you've got on display really just attracts, pulls the eye in. And although you didn't manage to sell me the baby combinations, my wife came and bought them for cupcake projects, she said. So you got the sale anyway.
Yeah, so that's good. Seeing you didn't even put it in her mind.
No, I didn't. Listen, thanks very much, and hopefully we'll see you back next year.
Yourself as well.
Bye for now. Yeah. Here we are. We've made it as far as Mothy and the Squid, and it seems to be going well. How's your afternoon been so far?
It's been pretty busy.
A lot of folk have said pretty busy.
Yeah.
Have you had a favourite seller so far today?
I haven't had a chance to look around yet. There's so much, and I haven't even had a chance to look at one thing.
Is there anything for you that's selling better than anything else?
People seem to be enjoying the self-striping and the rainbows and the full-size skeins more than the mini skeins.
It's amazing. What I've noticed as folk are wandering around is that they're willing to explore or have a really good look at different fibre mixes. And it's not just the straight, I'm looking for superwash merino. The folk are willing to be quite experimental here today. Have you had any strange requests? Or?
No, I've had some strange colour requests because, of course, colour is more what I specialise in. I've a smallish range of yarn bases that I use, but I go crazy with colours.
Wonderful.
Although I could do them on lots of different bases, and occasionally people ask, but it's been colour today.
Oh, that's wonderful. And do you think a repeat next year would be worth the effort?
Yeah, definitely.
I would expect to see a bigger Mothy and the Squid presence, do you think?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, listen, thanks for taking the time to chat today. See you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks. Right folks, working our way around the festival, I've come all the way over to Mulan Yarns to David Williamson. Hi David.
Hello John.
How's your day been so far?
It has been spectacular. It really has. I have been so pleased with what has gone.
Wonderful.
To stand, yeah.
And did you get much work done, or have you been too busy selling to work?
I've been able to keep spinning away, both on the wheel and the drop spindle, talking to people at the same time.
I'm saying nothing about drop spindle because that's where my last tenner went.
I'm so glad.
So has there been a high spot to the day? Was there anything sold faster than anything else?
I don't think so. I think just generally people have been so enthusiastic. People have been saying the colours are so different from what other people have. So yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's just general being a good day.
As I've been working my way around talking to the vendors, the one thing that seems to be a common thread is the sort of atmosphere of the day has been a really positive one.
Yeah, everybody's been friendly. Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful. And some of the things, as you wander around, folk are just sitting down, taking their knitting out and having a blether.
Exactly.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, have you done any shopping?
I have actually done some shopping. I haven't spent any money.
Yet.
But I have done some shopping. We did a swap.
Barter.
A barter.
Wonderful.
Lindsay from Blue Moon Yarns and myself swapped wool.
Wonderful.
So there you go.
Well, we won't tell the VAT man because he'll still want a cut somehow.
I'm not VAT registered, it's okay.
Well, that's all right then. Listen, thanks for giving us some of your time, and thanks for sitting here spinning all day, because it's fascinating for those of us who aren't spinners yet.
Yeah, I like that.
And hopefully we'll see you next year if we run again.
I think so, yes.
Wonderful.
And hopefully I'll have more stock next time.
Well, my hellos to Linda when you get home, and I'm sorry we've missed her today because she's at work, as you were telling me earlier.
Are you driving or training?
We are driving, so fortunately I am knitting and Janet's driving, because having not had a good health summer, I'm excused to driving this weekend, she says. So I won't complain.
Well, Pitlochry's a nice place to stop off in.
It would be the next time we're coming south. We're off to Glasgow in 2 weeks' time. We're off to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so I might drop you a message on the way south.
Okay.
And scrounge a cup of tea.
I think that could be arranged.
Thanks very much, David. See you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Okay, so having wandered round, I've found my way to some of our relaxing knitters and shoppers. Ladies, you look as if you've had quite a prosperous day shopping. Have you stayed within budget has got to be the first question.
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Is it a budget?
Well, I like that one. What about yourself?
No.
You're not within budget. Nobody stayed within budget. And that explains why the vendors are all smiling. Right, so from the stash enhancement, the haul that's in front of you, what's the favourite purchase so far? I've got to ask.
I have to say my gradient bag, because it's not me. You'll see from the rest of my purchases I buy blue mainly, and I wear blue, and I've gone out with the box and I've got lots of colours.
That's going to be wonderful. What's it going to be though? Have you a plan?
It's going to be one of these
Oh wow.
with these 6 colours and these 2 as the base.
Oh, that's going to be stunning. I like it. That's going to be really nice. Right, what about yourself? Favourite purchase?
That one, because it's going to be a birthday present for my mum.
Oh, lovely.
Carol likes a lot of blue. I'm normally red. I'm not actually a red coat, but I couldn't find any red that I particularly liked. But my mum will definitely like blue.
Oh, great.
I like these, but they're not for Christmas.
I thought those were, when I saw those, I thought they could be quite good fun.
I think it's the way that they're, because they look like candy canes just now, but once knitted up.
Yeah, do you think they'll come out self-striping? I think they might. Looking at them.
Who knows?
It'll be wonderful to see eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the next year, the plan is to wear this next year. There you go, you heard it here first.
Oh, lovely. I'll look forward to that. Now, what about yourself? You've got a nice haul.
Actually, this one, I've been meaning to start knitting socks for a while, and I love purple. So this should make a nice pair of purple stripy socks.
Oh, I like it. Alright, let's go over to the far side then.
That's my favourite.
Oh,
I don't usually wear blue, but I think it's Carol's influence.
I love the little bit of stellina in it.
So do I. It's lovely.
That is really nice.
And I'm going to knit a shawl with them both together. So
Oh, wonderful.
Possibly the same shawl as Carol.
Now, the one thing I've noticed today is the atmosphere today seems to have been really cheery. I think it's been I was in Inverness yesterday, and the Inverness atmosphere was cold and impersonal. Yeah, in Eden Court, it wasn't a set of knitters. Well, now what I think of is a group of knitters.
Even there was a yarn cruise. That was the thing that was tempting me to Inverness.
Yeah.
But
I didn't go on the yarn cruise, so I don't know how it panned out, but the theatre itself was a bit flat for me. So how are you thinking today has been in here? Has it been cheery enough for you?
Yeah, it's like cruising.
Yeah.
Small and plenty of bits of knit, and you can see all the stalls and get around.
Yeah.
It's good space to sit as well.
Yeah.
Tables are big thing.
And there's a lot of folk sitting and they're just bringing the coffee and saying, can we come and join you?
Yeah.
And I found that quite cheery today.
I've had lots of people come up to me as well and sort of say, I like your shawl, and also talk to other people as well.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a small one, so,
Yeah. But I've had fun. I came just to be a buyer and ended up selling a set of fingerless mitts, which happened to be in my knitting bag, and I'd finished about a week or so ago from a prototype of a design I was working on, and a kilt maker's hands were freezing, and I said, you can borrow those, and at the end she said, can I just keep them and pay you for them? Listen, thank you all very much indeed. Keep your eyes open. Hopefully this will go up before the end of the week, and we'll see you back next year.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little trip through the Perth Festival of Yarn. And I'm not finished. I came home, and over the last week or so I had heard from a local crafter, Kirsty Gunn, who remembered me as one of her teachers at high school. She's now an adult with a young family and a very, very nicely developed hobby. And she said, can I come and speak to you about my hobby? I saw your last podcast, saw that you were looking at vegan yarns and animal fibre free yarns. Pardon me, I've taken up spinning and I really fancied speaking to you about it. And I said, yeah, why don't you pop in? So she popped in earlier today, and here's the result. Right folks, next segment. I'm here with Kirsty Gunn, and Kirsty's come in and we were talking about spinning, and we're thinking of Charlotte down in Glasgow. Charlotte, Kirsty's the person I was talking about in Ravelry who was thinking about spinning some vegan yarn, and since we haven't caught up for years, we're having a catch up today, and it's quite good fun. We've been talking about kids, we've been talking about being grandparents, and grandparents spoiling kids and handing them back, and all the silly things that's happened to our families in the couple of years that we haven't seen one another. So it's been a lovely catch up, and now we're on to the spinning. So how did you get into spinning? Why did you get into spinning?
I got into spinning because it was quick, it was fast, and easy to do, and I take too long to knit. So it was much more satisfactory for me to get something done and dusted in an hour rather than faffing over needles and yarn and whatever.
Oh, here's another visit coming in. Oh, it's Janet coming in for lunch, so that's 1 o'clock. It's alright, she'll float around in the background. David, I'll try and get her not to cough, because you did say to her you'd recognised her cough, but it's the first time you'd met her the other day. Hi, we're in mid-recording for the podcast. Do you want to say hello to David? Shout, hello David. You could cough, you'll know it's you. And there's an entry on Ravelry this morning asking when is Janet going to get her account set up and when is she coming on Instagram? Folk from the festival are looking for you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Let's lash at it. Those of you who were at Perth Yarn Festival might know that David from this boy, David Rakes, said that it was nice to finally meet my wife at the festival, because in the past he'd only ever seen her cough or heard her cough on the podcast in the background, and she refuses to appear on camera. So I'll wait until she falls asleep in a chair one day and I'll grab some footage and sneak it online. I hope she doesn't kill me. Right, so thanks for coming in and spinning. So you were saying you got into this because it was faster than knitting.
Yes, and it was much more satisfactory for me because I'm much more of a product knitter rather than a
process
knitter, yeah. So as you can see, it is very fast to go through. And
yeah, and I mean you're working with some Shetland yarn at the moment. I know because we were talking about it before we started filming.
Yeah.
And you're producing something which is a really, really fine lace weight single ply at the moment, which you're going to ply up, I'm thinking, at the end of it.
Yeah.
And you say you've got about 600 grams, so I mean that is the best part of a good size sweater or a pile of small accessory projects, so that's good.
Yeah.
But we were actually thinking about the non-animal fibres, and we'd spoken about them on Ravelry. Mm-hmm. So which ones are you interested in trying?
Well, I definitely want to try flax. That's something that I really want to try, because it's hard wearing and it's just interesting. And I quite fancy trying hemp as well, because that's quite sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's used in quite a lot of things, so it'd be quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
But what really interested me was the milk protein tops and the banana tops. I thought that they were really different. I had never heard them before.
Uh-huh.
And so I really fancied trying something like that, doing a blend of them and
just to see how they come out.
Yeah.
I don't know how the milk tops would go with the vegan knitters, simply because it is an animal product of some kind. But I don't know, I'll take advice from some of the other experts out there.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting just to see how the fibre feels and how the finished yarn looks.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. As you know, Perth Yarn Festival was at the weekend. You were busy moving house, so you didn't get to go. I did.
Yeah.
And I brought these back, and we were talking about them earlier. And these are from Gongcraft's Handspun in Sutherland from Skerry. And they're a combination of wool, seaweed, black bamboo and silk. And they're single plies, which we were talking about earlier. And they're quite an interesting texture. So what about the other things that they've mentioned in there? The seaweed, black bamboo, have you come across those yet?
I've not come across any seaweed at all. That was a completely new one to me.
Uh-huh.
But I have done some knitting with bamboo before, and it's so soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. I got some purple stuff, but I think it would be a really nice in a blend of different fibres. I think it would be lovely. Because I want to try experimenting with different preparations of fibre as well. So like this is just spun. This is woven, so this is all.
Yeah.
The fibres are all the same way. They're all facing the same way. It's been combed and hackled or something and pulled off all in one go. And I really fancy trying like little Rolags, so you know the short pencil size.
Yes.
Yeah, so their fibres have all been mixed one way and then they're pulled off the other. So you're spinning from what practically is the fold,
Right.
which makes it a bit more. It's a different way to spin, and I think that something like the seaweed or bamboo or something would be quite interesting to try.
Right.
Spinning it a different way rather than just on its own end to end. So I think that would be something fun that would be different to see how it knits up.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you're spinning is obviously a nice natural undyed colour at the moment. It's really, really nice. It's a lovely warm cream, and I can imagine that it's going to end up as a really, really nice product. What do you think in terms, when you do things like this, do you think in terms of leaving it natural, dyeing? Would you want to dye it yourself? Would you look for a dyer for it, or?
I have done my own dyeing in the past. I actually brought one with me.
Oh wow!
I just realised I brought the end of. I had knitted a shawl with it. I crocheted a shawl with it, and that was the last little bit I could find with me.
Oh wow, that is lovely.
So I used the acid dyes on that. They take to the animal fibre. They take really well to that. The acid dyes don't do as well with the
natural fibres.
Yeah, the cellulose kind of fibres, I think it is.
But then some of the natural dyes might take well with those.
Yeah, indigo's a really good one to do with the natural ones, I think.
That is amazing, an amazing range of colours.
Yeah.
We'll maybe get this out for a close up later on, but there are an amazing range of blues, scarlet, purple, white. Oh, let's keep it there and snap some stills later on.
Yeah, so I do enjoy doing the dyeing as well, because I find it's another step to the creative process of what do I see this becoming, and I find it really interesting because, like as I've said, I'm more of a production kind of knitter and spinner, whatever. So I don't really mind the process as such, but with spinning, I find it much more enjoyable than knitting and crochet. I find that I don't have to rush through it. I can take my time.
Yes.
Really good.
Now earlier on you were saying you brought the spinning wheel in and you said, I'm really, really sorry it's covered in crayon, because you've got two lovely little boys at home who like to help mummy to spin, obviously. And there is a lovely crayon picture on the outside of the wheel, because obviously crayon and any piece of spinning would go beautifully well together.
Of course. Of course.
How do you find the time?
They nap. Basically, no, they're really good. If I am sitting spinning, I'm trying to get them more used to it so that they don't obsess over it because it's a wheel and it's spinning.
Because they're 2 and 3, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still little, so the typical little boys, anything with wheels, they love. So, try to get them used to it so that it's kind of a part of normal life. So they love sitting watching. Like the little one loves sitting on my knee, and he'll sit and play with the fibre. He kind of rubs it on his face a bit, and it's sweet. And the older one will sit at my feet, and he'll pedal the treadles. So they do like helping, but it's quite nice to sit back and relax at the end of the day after a very, very long day.
It would be with two little ones like that.
Yeah, when they're up at 6:30 in the morning every day, it gets quite long. So it's quite nice to just kind of sit back and relax. I do most of my spinning at night.
Once they've gone to sleep.
Yeah, once they've gone to sleep.
Right, so you've got this cutting plan for trying out interesting fibres. I've said that I'm going to be crazy enough to try and come up with some design work for knitted products that can be made from them.
Yep.
And folk are going to be welcome to tune in to future episodes and hopefully see how the whole project goes together. And we might have an interesting challenge for some of the watchers out there come nearer the time. I'll see what I can come up with. But absolutely fascinating. How did you choose your wheel?
Well, price was a big thing for me, because I hadn't had a wheel before. I didn't want to go spending thousands of pounds and find out that it wasn't for me. So, because I started learning on a hand spindle, so that was really cheap and easy and quick, but not as quick as a spinning wheel. I found that the spindle was lovely, but I wanted something that I could get a skein done in an hour. So I had a look online and I wanted something that wasn't going to be shipped right round the world and whatever, so that narrowed it down to relatively cheap and relatively close by. So I found Wingham Woolworks, and my little Ashford Kiwi 2 just had all the right features that I wanted, because this has got it's got 2 options on the whirl itself and 2 options on the wheel for different ratios and speeds of how fast the flyer goes compared to the wheel. So it gave a lot of options that I could expand if and when I wanted to, if I did like it, and if I didn't like it, it still had a fairly good resale price.
Sensible.
So that was how I got it, because I had tried a couple of wheels before and they weren't just quite what I was looking for. But this one they say that there's a wheel for everyone, and I seem to find my wheel fairly quickly, so I'm quite chuffed with that.
That's wonderful. Now, you brought with you today some stuff that you'd already been working on, and the first thing you showed me was this, and it's an amazing range of blues. It's a 2-ply skein, and you said it had just come from a mixed bag of fibres that you picked up.
Yep.
But it's far from randomly organised in the way it's been put together, so tell me about the production process for it. What did you decide to do?
Well, that one, I fell in love with the colours straight away, because they're so bright, and the blues are my favourite. So I thought, well, if I split all the colours in roughly half, then I'll be able to 2-ply them together. So I had laid out the little bumps of colours in little rows, and I thought, no, this is probably the best colour gradient to do it in, because if it gets knitted up or crocheted up, then that would look the best. So I had them sitting, and I asked my partner, and because he's much better with colours than I am, and he said, no, that's the way to do it. And when I went to 2-ply it together, I had a kind of panic because the colours didn't line up quite evenly. So one colour started as the other one was finishing, and I kind of panicked there for a minute, but he said to me, no, that's actually going to turn out really nicely.
It does, it looks wonderful when you see it in the skein.
So I'm glad I didn't just throw the rag in there, because there was a moment of, oh no, this isn't how I imagined it.
No, it's really nice. What kind of product do you see? Can you see it being? What would you think?
I quite fancy it as a cowl. I
can see that,
Yeah.
And the texture's nice. I think there's some wool in it. It's not all wool.
Yeah.
Looking at it, but it feels lovely. And you brought something else as well, which is sitting behind me.
Yeah.
So tell us the story of this piece of black. Well, it's not black. No. It's black, it's chocolate brown, it's gold, it's flecks of white, and it's sheep.
Yep.
It's distinct, pure sheep. So tell us about it.
Well, my auntie has a few sheep that she keeps for fun, for just having. And when they were shearing them, she had mentioned that she didn't know what to do with them. She was going to have to throw them out again like she did her last ones. And I had just got my spinning wheel, and I was shocked that people throw away fleece. It's unheard of. Why are you doing this? And she said, well, if you want it, you can have it. So I said, yes, please, I'll have anything you give me. So she ended up giving me 4 Zwarbles fleeces, and then 2 Jacob Cross.
Oh, lovely. It's a silver grey, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it's lovely. And that was their first shear.
All right.
Ever. So it's so soft. But the Zwarbles was the first one that I picked up just because of the different colours in it.
The colours in it are incredible for just what you would think is a black sheep.
Yeah.
I mean, to see that, as I say, the hint of gold, the chocolate brown, the darker brown, the black, and the flecks of grey, it's really, really nice. And this is just spun straight from the fleece.
Yep, I combed it with plastic combs that cost £1.70 from Boots because I'm a cheapskate and didn't want to buy wool combs just yet. So that kind of straightened out the fibres and got the really rubbish bits that I couldn't use. That got all that out. So and then I spent it. I've got one here actually in my little bag of tricks. So this is it after it's been combed. So all the fibres are, and then I pulled it off in a roving.
Wow. And again, in that you can see the range of colour in that piece of roving, and it's lovely. The texture is really, really nice. You can still feel the lanolin.
Yeah.
It's definitely still there.
Yeah.
So this is a stunning piece of hand spun, and you said that this is a bit rough because you'd only been spinning how long when you did this?
It would have been about 5 weeks, something like that.
Right.
About that.
For 5 weeks, I would say it's absolutely all right, because we've put so Kirsty's been spinning along with some of the hand spun that I brought back from Perth Yarn Festival, and some of it, tight for tight, matches up really quite well. And this, I'd be intrigued to see. Oh, he says getting it caught in his finger. I'm going to be intrigued to see how this ends up, because as I say, it feels really, really nice. So that's wonderful. Well, no, thanks for coming in and spending time blathering. It's been really, really nice. Will you come back?
I sure will.
Right. So whether we're back on wool or whether we're back on alternate fibres or a bit of both, watch this space, ladies and gents, and we will have our spinning section in Beardychiel's Knitting Banter. Thanks again. I'm going to go and turn this camera off and go on to the next segment. Thanks, Kirsty. It was great having you in, and it was nice to put that little section in. Now, when Kirsty left, she left me with a wonderful present. The black Zvorbel that we were talking about, she has gifted to me, and I'm going to have a look and see what kind of project this 100 and odd grams of blacks and browns can go into, and I was really, really pleased with that. And that takes me slightly back to stash. I didn't mention the stash enhancement from the Perth Festival of Yarn. Well, there were 1 or 10 items. So where do I begin? First purchase of the day. Perth Festival of Yarn's inaugural yarn. DK 100 grams, 225 metres. Dyed up by David Rakes, this boy, superwash merino, DK sock base, and it's all of the colours which appear in the logo of the event. And the acid green is just so in your face, it appealed to me, and I thought, I'm going to wear that. I don't know whether it's going to be a hat or whether it's going to be socks. I don't know what it's going to be, but by heck, I'm going to wear it. So I bought one of the yarns of the inaugural dye run and thoroughly delighted myself with that. Oh, and I missed a bit when I was talking about Inverness. When I was in Inverness, JC Rennie, another Scottish spinner and dyer, commercial spinner and dyer, had a stall in the go, and they had these 4 plies on the go, and they were absolutely gorgeous. The yellowy green one is their shade 417 Pistachio, and the other one they call Laurel, and it's a sort of grey, cream, slight hint of yellow, slight hint of green in it. They look quite nice together, and these 2 balls are what I plan to use for my entry to the Sockmatician Strand Along. In October. It's after October the 1st. I haven't cast it on yet because I only bought the yarn at the weekend, but Nathan Taylor, Sockmatician, Strand Along material is here, and it is specifically going to be a hat, and the design features of the hat I'm not telling you because it's a secret at the moment. Now, back to Perth Festival of Yarn. Another new producer who I hadn't come across before, Rosedene Rylands, 100% pure wool from the coloured Ryland flock. Again, natural yarn colour. I've bought one ball for a prototype for a garment, and at the end of the prototyping I may have to email them and get some more. But Rosedine Rylands yarns, really nice, 100% wool. Again, natural colours. So natural colours straight from the sheep, a grey, a soft brown, a darker, almost charcoaly grey from the darker sheep. A lovely selection of yarn, 50 gram balls, 110 metres, DK weight for the stuff I picked up, and I am absolutely delighted. This is called shade 3 light, but then when it's coming and it's just sheep coloured, doesn't smell of sheep, smells lovely and clean, and it's a nice twist, should give nice stitch definition. I'm looking forward to that going into its prototype. And then back into Sutherland. A couple of years ago at Caithness County Show, I visited a stall belonging to Gongcraft Handspun Yarns, and I picked up a skein of yarn, and it was absolutely lovely. And I brought it home, put it in my stash with a plan to turn it into some baby wear, and then put the stash bag away and forgot where I had put it, and I found it just a couple of weeks ago. So when I saw Clive and Laurent at the stall, I had to go have a look, and I came across this. It's called Mossy Bank. It's a 4-ply fingering, and it's superwash merino and silk 75-25 mix. It's about 400 metres to the 100 grams. This is batch 195 that they've dyed up. Really nice range of colours. The one thing about Gongcraft is all of the dyeing that they do from natural dyes, natural product dyes that they lay their hands on. So the colours tend to have a much more gentle edge to them, and I've thoroughly enjoyed looking through the yarns. A nice long chat with Clive, who spent his day sitting spinning, and I was absolutely delighted to do some spending, and this was the first one that I picked up. I really enjoyed picking it up, and I thought, I'm going to have that. So that came home with me. But then as I was chatting to him, I was looking at more of his hand spun, and I said to him, what's in your hand spun? And he said it's a combination of merino, seaweed, bamboo and silk. And he was blending them and combing them together to create his roving, and then spinning that roving. So it's a single ply hand spun, quite a heavy weight. It's going to knit, I'm thinking, a bit like maybe a double knit, possibly even as a lighter Aran. But the bit that got me about it was he had 2 colourways, and there was only one left in each, and these are roughly 50 gram skeins, 130, 140 metres, and just look at the colours. I just love them. The Sango Sands, which is this one, merino, seaweed, bamboo and silk, absolutely gorgeous. I can see it being in a number of different projects, but I haven't decided exactly what the finished object is going to be yet. But I think I would like to mix it and pair it with Blue Lagoon, and the only thing that's different is the Blue Lagoon is merino, seaweed, black bamboo and silk, and there are some slightly darker tones in there that have come from that bamboo, and it feels absolutely wonderful. So we'll see how that goes. Now, no knitting maniac would be complete without passing a haberdashery stall, and as I passed them I saw these. Yes, I found knitting needles at a yarn fair, and the bright green baubles in the end and the size 3mm sustainable wooden pins from Knit Affair. Couldn't resist, had to buy them. But having stopped to look at them, there were some hand-turned wooden needles by the same company, on the same stall, at the same time. So I came away with a pair of 5mm hand-turned wooden needles. They're more expensive than I would normally have considered paying for any pair of knitting needles, but the fact that the wood is sustainably sourced, the fact that they were hand turned rather than machine turned, as a woodworker myself, it appealed to me and I just had to go mad. So I went mad, and these were my treat of the week. My wife said I was mad, but it was my treat money to spend as I wished, so I have brought them home, and I haven't chosen what sort of chunky or Aran weight yarn is going to be used on them yet, but it is going to be used. I tried to claim that I bought them for Janet, but she wouldn't believe me. She said, "Don't be silly, they're for you." And I can't tell a lie, they probably are for me. Is that the last of my purchase? Well, for yarn it is. Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, talking online to my fellow podcaster David Drakes, this boy, David, as well as yarn, produces project bags. And one of his fastest sellers and most popular project bag has been his sheep bag. And I had said, when you make a next batch of sheep bags, please keep me one. And David kept me one. So my 100% wool guaranteed sheep wool bag, project bag, is here. And of course it bears the This Boy logo. And I hope I've got that logo in shot. Where is it? It's right there. So David, thank you very much for remembering to keep it for me. I haven't decided what project is going to go into it yet. I had considered using it as a prezi for someone else, and as I was bringing it up the road and thinking about it, I thought, well, no, I may as well just keep it, because I'm just a greedy beggar. No other reason, just a greedy beggar. So, here we go. Let's move on and get the next bit done. That's it. Any other purchases? Well, yes, there was another purchase. I know I should have come to the end and I should have been sensible, but there were some Christmas stitch markers, and who can resist a little Christmas stitch marker? Stocking fillers for knitting buddies. I couldn't resist them, so I picked up some, and I will put them to very good use in the coming festive season. The weekend was a great success. The event was absolutely wonderful. The people I met and chatted to in real life as opposed to online were absolutely great. Some of them were so kind and so generous with their comments. It was lovely to meet every single one of them. One of the ones that surprised me, I hadn't even realised that they were there, and I have to say I must apologise because I hadn't realised who one or two people were as they were speaking to me, because their individual faces and their live personas, if they're not a podcaster and they're just a Ravelry avatar, you don't actually always get a brilliant likeness. So I hadn't actually put two and two together for a couple of folk until I came back and went back on Ravelry and looked again, and I thought, oh my god, that's who I was speaking to. So my apologies if I looked a bit vague when some of you were speaking to me. I'm claiming it's old age. No other excuse, just old age and bad memory. But no, everyone was absolutely wonderful. The high point of the weekend, watching Eva Christie's face light up as people kept coming through the door. making the event an amazing success. The atmosphere was wonderful. The sort of community spirit was absolutely wonderful as well. What more could you ask in an event like that? Some of these events can be a bit clinical and incredibly commercial. This one didn't have that feel at all. It was as if everybody was there because they knew one another. They were having fun. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of spontaneous knitting. In the inverted commas, forgive the floating inverted commas, but people just sitting down, opening the bag, taking out their knitting, having a cup of coffee and a cup of tea and blethering. Absolutely wonderful. Comparing what they'd bought, saying, what did you buy? What are you going to do with it? Great, absolutely great. So much so that, as you would have seen, I did stop to speak to some of the people who had sat to sit and knit to find out what they'd been buying. And that's it, the end of the festival summary. So thanks Eva and thanks everyone else. I had a whale of a time. So we've seen our local crafter Kirsty, you've seen that. Time to get to my giveaway from last time. I spoke to you about this. If you remember, 2 100-gram balls of 80% mohair, 20% silk. It's orange and grey and black. It's a sort of tweedy fleck. It's a really nice yarn. I like it. Quite a masculine yarn, and I couldn't quite decide what it might be used for. And that's inspired the giveaway competition. I'm going to give away these 2 100-gram balls of yarn from King Craft Fabrics, purchased by my own fair hand. I enjoyed it so much that I went back this week and I bought another 2 for me to play with. On the way south we had to drive past, so I stopped in and I picked up another 200 grams of that for me, and in a tub were these skeins of 100% mohair. So this cream mohair was just sitting there, 250 grams to the skein at the amazing price of £6. I don't know what it's going to be, how it's going to knit up, but at that price I just had to bring it home and try and turn it into something. It's lovely, absolutely wonderful. So, yarn giveaway and competition. Here we go. In Beardychiel's Knitting Banter group on Ravelry, I will start a thread for the mohair and silk giveaway. This is a design giveaway, right? In order to participate, all you have to do is be a member of the group on Ravelry, so that you've gone in and see the post, and in your reply to the post I would like you to give me your design ideas for this particular set of yarn. If you win it, what will it become? Now, I would like you to give me 4 pieces of information for me to make judging decisions on. Number 1, the product it's going to become. Is it going to be a scarf, a shawl, a throw, hat, gloves, a pillowcase, a cushion cover? What do you think it's going to be? Piece of information number 2. Will you be using it on its own, or will you be putting it with some other yarn? And if so, what's that yarn going to be? Colour, texture, fibre? What are you going to mix it with? Piece of information number 3. Are there any special techniques that you're going to include in the piece of design work? Will it include some lace work? Would it be used as part of a piece of brioche or some double knitting? Will it be for cables? Will it be something that involves something like short rows? Is it going to be something that's used for Aran design? Is it for stranded work? Just any special technique that you think might go into that design. And the last piece of information, is this going to be a piece of your own design, something of your own innovation, or a purchase pattern? Both are completely acceptable. I don't mind which. Some people have a good eye for possible ideas, and they know, right, I've got a piece of 4-ply yarn here. I can turn that into X, Y, or Z. Some people use a pattern every time. Some people might take an idea from a pattern they've already knitted, combine it with 2 or 3 other design elements, and come up with a brand new idea of their own. Some people innovate regularly and come up with their own ideas. So I just would like to know, what are your ideas for using this yarn? But give us those 4 pieces of information in your submission. Doesn't have to be long. It can be just a couple of words for each bit. The competition will close on Sunday the 16th of October at midnight. And then the decision on who's going to win the yarn is going to be made not just by me. Over the weekend I spoke to some of the Scottish podcasters, and I've emailed the rest of them, and I've said, would you join me for this giveaway? And as a panel, vote on what you think are the strongest ideas for the giveaway. So, with the help of the other Scottish podcasters, the 200-gram balls of mohair and silk will come to whoever has what we 7 come to as a consensus for a good idea. So, there you go. Giveaway thread on Ravelry, and I will call it mohair silk. Yeah, mohair and silk giveaway. So have a look for the mohair and silk giveaway, take part in the competition, have fun. I'm keeping it short, just 2 weeks to generate ideas. That gives us a couple of days to judge it, and then I'll produce another podcast and put the results in the next podcast. Nice and straightforward. That's that bitty done. And that's me at the end. A summary. What else have I been up to since the last podcast? Well, you know me, because of the health, sitting doing not an awful lot. The battery's running low, so this is going to be really quick. Watching some podcasts, as always. Kirsty, Little B, Charlotte from Charlotte Knits, Eva from Eva Christie Hand Knitting, as always. David from This Boy Knits, Helen Sprite 966. Sorry you couldn't be with us in Perth, Helen. We did miss you, but we understand why you couldn't be there, and we look forward to catching up with you at some point in the future. The Bakery Bears last podcast, I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. Dan and Kay Jones, as always, it's the best production values that I have seen, and it's a pleasure to sit and watch. And of course, finishing with this morning's watch over breakfast was episode 30 of Sockmaticians podcast by Nathan Taylor, the launch of his Strand Along, which I'm going to participate in. Nathan, it was absolutely wonderful fun to watch you yet again. I have to say, your rendition of the prayer did have me sitting thinking, what a lovely voice. I don't know why you were nervous about it appearing. It was a good choice to put up, and it was a lovely choice of song. And that's me for this time, so thank you all very much indeed for watching. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've enjoyed some of it. I hope you've enjoyed the footage from Perth. I've certainly enjoyed it. So until next time, keep knitting, keep safe, cheerio.
Hi folks, Beardychiel here at the Perth Festival of Yarn with Eva Christie, a pile of other Scottish podcasters and a massive amount of the general public. All knitting fanatics, all wonderfully wandering from stall to stall, spending too much, buying too much yarn, and pardon me for burping as I go. I'm going to wander around, chat to some of the customers, chat to some of the stall holders and some of the other podcasters if I can find them, and hopefully in the process of working through today's podcast, I'm going to try and slip as much of this extra footage in as I possibly can. See you later.